Guess so.
Who wants to intro? Sam, you seem like you're in an intro mood.
Welcome back to our podcast. What do we call this?
This is the
What is
Montrels
this?
Disciples.
Welcome back to the Montrels Disciple Podcast. Thank you for returning. If you're new, welcome.
Welcome to today's podcast. Today we have two guests, but our camera angle's bad. So we have one of the stars of the show,
Microphone.
in Jimothy. We have another star of the show, Lesbo Girl, affectionately named.
My future wife.
That's the wrong voice, my dude.
And we
My
have,
future wife.
And we have the inspiration for Jimothy and what the channel is named after, Mr. Montrel.
Hey guys,
Welcome, dude. Welcome.
I'm Montrel. Not really.
What? What?
Earth-shattering news, really.
So,
Shattering news on set.
today, the theme of this podcast is first dates.
Oh.
So, I know...
What is this? I've never heard of first dates.
So we're going to be talking about, we think you should say on a first date,
Yeah.
what we think you should not say on a first date, best places to go, best places not to go. So I guess we should say, we should go around the room and ask what everybody's best or worst or just most memorable first date experience was. We'll start with Josh.
Montrel.
Yeah, okay, Montrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, my first date with the person I'm dating right now,
Nice.
hopefully she's watching this, we
Not
agreed
this.
to go on a walk in the park and then go to Chick-fil-A because it was like the summer, it was in the afternoon. So we go out, I'm under the impression we're gonna walk, but she's pretty like ramped up and nervous, I guess. So she's on like a light jog or like medium jog. So we're walking for like 20 minutes and I'm not the most in shape person ever. So I'm pretty winded. And she walks dogs pretty consistently, so she's like, "This is awesome," and I'm like, "I'm gonna die." And then it started to hail. We decided to play volleyball outside. Yeah.
Time out.
So there was this
Didn't know that one.
Yeah, so it was like a severe rainstorm thing was gonna happen.
Oh.
But we didn't know it. So we got home from
Prepared.
the jog,
I like it.
and I'm dying, and she was like, "Let's play volleyball outside, like keep up." And I was like, "Sure, let's do that." And so we were outside, it starts to rain, and we were like, "Rain is fine." And then it starts to rain harder, and we were like, "Hard rain is fine." And then it started to hail, and we were like, "Hail is not fine." So we went inside.
Was this last summer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's the magic of the first date where nobody wants to admit that there is a problem. Because it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well
so
explained.
obviously
Yeah.
it went pretty well.
It went well.
It's been a year or something like that.
It has been more than a year.
Wow.
Have you actually like hit the day of like 1 year?
Yeah, so we're at like a year and 4 months or something.
There
Yeah,
we
it's
go.
pretty wild.
Congrats.
That's cray.
That's so crazy. So
Cray.
Josh is the most
successful.
yes.
That's
So
right.
anything,
Of us all.
anything we say,
number of
you should
positive words.
really, you should really listen to Josh more than any of us.
100%.
Okay, so we're gonna take it over
All
to
hail.
Josh.
Up top.
No.
So
Ciao.
we'll pass it over to Sam.
What's up, fellas?
Um,
And
can you give
fellows.
us one of your most memorable dating experiences? One of the first dates with a person.
Female.
We don't discriminate.
Didn't want to assume.
Okay, so I am not currently dating this person, but this happened sophomore year of high school. This girl and I like really liked each other, and I was too nervous to like tell her I wanted to date her, and so she asked me to our school's Sadie Hawkins dance, and we went to the Sadie Hawkins dance and we had a blast. We were just two little sophomores, just like, and like everyone else was seniors. Like nobody else had any interest. It was just like one big senior party. So we left early and went to IHOP. You know, after every dance you go to IHOP. So we decided to go to IHOP, and we get there and I see the coffee holder, whatever that's called, and I'm like, yo, I wonder if they like left the coffee in here, and it's like if you came after someone who ordered coffee, if you could drink cold coffee for free. And she was like, no, you're an idiot, you're stupid, they wouldn't just do that. And I'm like, okay. And then like throughout the night I'm just like making fun of her about it, like, or like just like teasing, like oh, but like what if there is, you know, just like I keep bringing it up. And then she's like, you want me to prove it? I'll prove it. And without even thinking, she picks up the coffee pot, that's what it's called, coffee pot, and opens it and tries to pour it out, not even in a cup, just on the table. And it goes everywhere. Cold coffee goes everywhere, all over the table, all over my suit.
Whoa.
And she is just embarrassed beyond belief. And she felt super embarrassed, but I'm definitely the type of person where like if something like that happens on a date, I really couldn't give a crap, you know? Like I think that's hilarious. And so I kind of tease her about it, like as we continue to date, and we're not dating anymore, but we dated for a while, and I like kept bringing it up throughout our entire relationship, but I thought that was hilarious.
That is pretty good.
That's kind of funny.
That's the image.
Being like,
He was so confident. I was like, how did you not feel the coffee in the pot? And she goes, I was so confident in myself.
well, what time in the morning was it?
It was not, I guess some dances end in the morning, like early in the morning, but it was probably like 12 or 12:30.
So, yeah, that was
So
just...
she messed up. So what, Caleb?
That was just kind of stupid.
What'd you just call my ex-girlfriend?
Don't worry about it.
Defend her honor, Sam.
Oh, I will. She was a fellow redhead.
Whoa.
If that narrows it down, right?
Probably searching for
We
Sam's
know
girlfriend.
exactly who she is now.
If you
Y'all
see
know
a
her name.
redhead
I'm
out
not
in
going
the
to say her
wild,
name on our podcast in case we get famous one day, but
But then she would be famous.
that's not true.
Okay.
That's not how that works.
So we're going to pass it over to Jessica. Jessica, what's your most memorable dating experience around the first time, if you can?
Well, I have a limited pool to draw from, but yeah, I don't really. I guess my first interesting dating experience was with a bro from my school. We decided that, whoa, we like the same TV shows, so that's pretty cool, and is the foundation of any solid relationship.
How
I'm
old
sure.
were you guys?
Amen.
We don't need to talk about how old we are.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're because
At
this
the
is
time of the story?
long time ago.
like 2 days ago.
This was yesterday.
It was
He's
this morning.
not over it. He was not over it.
So yeah, we had I think a total of 2 dates, if you could call it that, of just watching these shows on Netflix.
Nice.
So yeah, and then decided that I did not feel that way towards the dude, and
That sucks.
was nauseous for like 5 days.
Oh.
He didn't message me. I did not message him. And then he was like, hey bro, like maybe we should be friends. And I was like, that's a good call. So yeah, Netflix dates for the first time, probably not the best in my experience, but that's literally it. Exciting.
Nice.
Riveting, really.
So two
Yeah.
Netflix dates,
Yeah.
and then it
That
was over.
Yeah. I remember during the second one, I wanted it to be over so bad that I was like, hey, I really got to go feed my rabbit, and kept leaving the room to go feed my rabbit.
Did you
Whose
finish
idea was it to do 2
repeatedly?
Netflix dates?
His, I guess. Yeah.
That is
That's when you know he's not a winner.
you messed up, bro.
That's
You
fair.
messed up.
That's for real.
Whatever your name is, which we're not gonna reveal.
Jeremy.
Oh, no.
What?
We'll call him.
Guzman.
Call him
Cos-
Perry. You
What
messed
did
up,
you call
Perry.
him? Harry?
Perry.
Perry with a P.
Oh, got it. Perry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Perry messed up.
So, I'll talk about my first date ever.
Whoa.
My first date ever was in, I think, 9th grade. And I was dating a senior in high school, I believe.
Ew.
So I was pulling super hard, which I am still proud of to
You were
this day.
pulling?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means like,
when you grab something and
So it's like the
thrust
opposite
it
of
towards
cradle
you.
snatching?
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, like you're pulling from above your grade, you know what I mean?
Ah.
Yeah.
I did that. Do you know that?
No.
Fun fact.
Anyway.
That is a fun fact.
Watch next week for the explanation.
So at this time, I was not old enough to drive, which is never the time that you should start dating, in my opinion.
Yeah, but she could drive.
No,
Wait, what?
she did not have her license at the time. I
You
think she
dated
was,
somebody who was
who was a senior in high school, and she didn't have her license at the
a
time.
red flag number 1.
So, anyway, we decided we were going to go to the mall and watch a movie. Which sounds awesome, but my parents couldn't take me at the time of the date, which was like 6 or 7 or something.
Was Josh old enough to drive?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have been old enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you,
Or you would have. You
Didn't?
probably would have been learning.
I would.
You might have
been,
like just gotten your license.
Yeah.
You weren't in a place
To take him to the date.
Yeah.
No, because she was in my same grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. Then she's actually a junior at this
I
time.
was like, yeah.
It was probably the summer before, like the summer that I was becoming a sophomore and she was becoming a senior. If that
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense.
That makes sense.
So less impressive is what you're
Yeah.
trying to convey.
Less impressive.
Pulling a little less hard.
Yeah, but still pulling. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Pulling hard.
Didn't she have a nose? It's like a
Yeah.
septum piercing.
What?
Isn't that what this is called?
A nose ring?
Yeah.
That would be a septum piercing, yes.
Low key thought I was talking about an inappropriate body part. I was like, did I just say the wrong thing?
Why'd you say it?
It's called your septum.
I mean, you didn't know that.
I didn't say that. I didn't think that until after I said it.
Just to be clear, she did not have a rectum piercing.
Whoa.
She had a
That
septum
is not what I
piercing.
said.
It's what I thought. It's not what I thought. It's not what I thought. I knew she had a septum piercing.
So she had a nose ring. Yes, she did. Anyway,
Septum.
back to
Ring.
the story. So nobody can take me at the time of the date, which is like 6. Nothing crazy. So I'm like, I have got to get to this date. So I'm like, just working it out with my parents. And so what we decide on is my dad's on his way to a meeting at about 2 o'clock. So I'm like, can you drop me off at the mall now? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I go to the mall about 3 or 4 hours early to this date.
Props to you, dude.
Yeah. So at the time, the reason we also chose the mall is because at the time she was working in the mall. She worked at Tilly's. And so...
Red flag number 2.
And so, she was working before our date. So she's working at the mall, and I show up at the mall at like 2 p.m. So it's kind of creepy, low key,
yeah.
but like... So I spend about 2 or 3 hours in a Barnes & Noble reading.
Solid.
Yeah. I don't remember what book it was. I think it was Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. I read a couple chapters. Not important. Anyway, at one point I show up. I'm like, I'm just going to go to Tilly's and say hey. And so I go into Tilly's probably about an hour before our date is supposed to start, or like before she gets her shift. I go in, and it was just kind of like, hey. And she was like, what are you doing here? But like in like a, I said that in a bad tone.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
was,
She was more like confusion.
yeah, it was like surprise, like, oh wow, oh, like, what are you doing here? You know? So that happened, and then I still had an hour to kill, so then I just, like, walked away, and then I forget what I did for an hour. Anyway, we show up, we are going to see Mission Impossible 5.
Oh,
Ooh.
dope.
Yeah, but we didn't buy our tickets till super late. And so we have it was like the weekend it came out, so it was like packed. And we have the seats that are like very front row to the right corner.
Dang,
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So we're just
That
like
sucks.
Break your
looking
neck
up
at like an angle.
Tom Cruise's nose hairs the entire time.
Lucky.
And I remember it was super awkward too, because it was right around when reserved seating was starting to become a thing. And so there was 2 seats up top that we like went to first, and then people came and were like, these are our seats, and we're like, sorry. So that was awkward. And then we did the thing where we like held hands at a really uncomfortable angle for the entire movie, and it was just like, it's like, it was sweaty and weird and uncomfortable.
Sweat's nasty.
And then after that, her dad picked her up, and then I waited at the mall for a while for somebody to come pick me up.
Did you go to Tilly's again?
No. At this time, the mall was like closed, I think.
Dang, dude.
How long were you at the mall in total for this?
Man, it's from like 2 to 9 or 10.
Goodness gracious.
It's like 3 hours.
It's not 3 hours.
That's
So
3
it's-
hours
It's a little bit
Fahrenheit.
less.
So I was dedicated to the date experience. I'd say that relationship went pretty well. I remember it fondly. And yeah, so that was everybody's first dates. I'd probably say mine is probably second best. I think coffee being poured all over the table.
It's true.
Yeah, but I found mine funny. Like yours was just kind of like hard.
It was like a real first date. You know what I mean? Like all the awkwardness
Ooh.
was there. It was like, not like
Mine was not a real first date.
it was not.
It was fake.
Tell that to anonymous girl.
You were about to say her name.
No.
Anyway,
It rhymes.
so we're gonna keep going down the route of
On that note,
we're gonna keep going down the route of first dates, and we're gonna talk about some of the what we believe to be the best and worst first date spots in our experience or in theory. What we think if somebody took us there for the first date, or if we took a girl there, like this would be the place to take them for a first date, and also the places not to take somebody.
So do we
for a
want to go
first
around
date.
the room like best and then back around the room worst?
Yeah, let's do that. So, Sam, why don't you start us off with what you think some of your best first date places would be? What's like your go-tos?
Are we talking? Okay, so does best is like price included?
Well, it's like whatever impression you're trying to make on the first date.
Oh, okay, I get that. I feel that.
You know what I mean? Like if you're
Yeah.
taking somebody to Texas Day, Brazil on the first date,
Okay.
they're going to
Snapple.
expect
So,
you have mad cash for the rest of your relationship.
and that's just not true. I have happy cash. Best first date spot. Man, I have not been on a date in 4 years.
it's a good time to start thinking about it.
I know where I used to think the best first date spot was.
And where was that?
I used to think that a movie was like the best first date, but it's just not, because you don't get to talk to the girl for the entire duration of a movie. So like low key for a first date, I would take her to a restaurant. I'm not gonna think of a restaurant right now off the top of my head. I would take her to a restaurant, like kind of nice but still casual, so she doesn't feel like she has to dress up super nice or anything. And then I would take her to the restaurant, and then we'd probably just like go like watch a movie at the house. Like, I don't know. That
I thought we
sounds fun.
established
That sounds
like,
fun
Netflix
to me.
at the house is a no-go.
I know, but that sounds like fun to me and a good way to get to know the girl.
Yeah.
But like, I guess you gotta go do something, don't you?
I would think so.
Yeah. Okay, so movie.
So you're saying
Like go to a movie.
Yeah, but you can't go bowling just the two of you because then like one's bowling while the other one's
yeah.
Not
sitting.
That's
That's
weird.
fair.
So you're
Axe throwing.
So you're so
I
you're
would
Axe
say
throwing.
Yeah.
so you're saying a restaurant. What's like the price range of this restaurant? Is it like fast food? Is
Like,
it like middle class fancy?
It's not fast food.
Like Chili's.
It's probably like Chili's. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
Josh and I are on the same wavelength, yo. It's crazy.
So you're taking her to Chili's, and then you're going to go see a movie at your house or the movie theater.
I'd probably go axe throwing
Okay.
or an escape room.
Ooh, that might be fun.
I think escape room is a good one.
Do they do two person escape rooms?
I do not know. I can make one.
Just like in your house.
Hop in the back of my
set
car.
up-
It's an escape
Oh.
room.
That's not scary at all.
I am single.
Oh man. Okay, so what do we think about Sam's first date? Do you guys? How do you?
Forget all the stuff I said about the movie theater and all that crap. It's a restaurant and freaking escape room.
Okay.
I would say escape room is
And then hang
risky.
out after.
Escape room is risky solely because if you guys don't figure it out, then you're stuck there in an enclosed space and you're probably both frustrated.
You only get an hour. It's not like you're stuck there forever.
It doesn't take, okay, for me, it doesn't take me very long to get frustrated at like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then,
They have hints.
okay.
Every escape room has hints, Josh.
See, I've never been in an escape room.
That's on you.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe because y'all should have gone there on your first date, but didn't.
Yeah, we settled for volleyball in the hail.
So we'll segue. So Josh, what do you think your ideal first date spot is? Or what's your go-tos? What are you thinking when you're taking a girl out on a first date?
I think eating something is always good. That way you know what the other person's tastes are, like right off the bat.
Oh.
So like if you're throwing out restaurants and she shoots them all down, perhaps this is not going to work long term. But if you're like, hey, you want to go to Chili's? And she's like, sure. Then you're like, oh, okay, this is a normal person. But she's like, no, I hate Chili's. No, I hate Chick-fil-A. No, I hate Hooters. Then you're like... then you're like, oh, okay. Then we can't date. So, but... After that, though, I would say like putt-putt or something where you're doing something,
that's a
but
good
you're
one.
not
That's a good one.
separated.
That's a really good one.
Where
Actually.
you're able to go and like,
That's why he's the expert.
yeah, this is
This is why you should listen to Josh. I said axe throwing an escape room. An axe throwing an escape room.
Whoa.
I would say do something where you're not just sitting there, but you're actually doing something, and there's something to do.
Yeah.
So that's my rationale for putt-putt. Bowling's fun, but you're also, like Sam said, you're not together enough to really have a conversation, you know?
Yeah.
It's true.
So,
Another great thing about putt-putt is like if you're having a conversation and it just kind of dies out, there's like 18 segues for you on the golf course to be like, oh wow, you beat me on this hole, or like, oh wow, you need to work on your putting, you know, just like little jokes to just keep things moving
You
along.
suck.
You're actually
have you
the
ever
worst.
seen a putt-putt thing?
What?
You ever whacked a golf stick before?
You got eczema?
Jessica, what about you? What's your what would be your ideal?
Definitely something kind of like we've already established, but where we're moving, don't want to sit still because that's awful. Whoa.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa. I like just a good walk because then I don't have to like think about, oh, I'm bad at this, or maybe I'm too good at this.
Are you
'cause,
bad at walking?
I mean, yes.
When
but-
judges your walk, he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, we can't be together anymore. You have a
Oh, shoot.
weird gait. No. Yeah, definitely a walk. Food is awesome. Love most versions of food, so I'm always down for that. And if you run out of things to say, you just put things in your mouth and then don't worry about it. So. Just like napkins or like whatever.
I couldn't use my cup.
Phrasing.
I know. Never mind.
Jessica, you ate half of your styrofoam cup. I ran out of food.
Ran out
So
of
yeah,
food and things to talk about.
So, like, what about restaurants, though? Like, what are your, like, your go-to... What would be the restaurants you want to go on a first date?
I am not opposed to fast food, especially if it's like someone that I know already, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to do something sit down-ish, yeah, Chili's is dope. You can't really mess that one up. Olive Garden if you want to get real bougie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
The only problem is like half the population thinks Olive Garden sucks, and it's just wrong.
Whoa. Wait.
Olive Garden's good, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Thank you for
I
clarifying.
mean, I think if they had like done their research and like done like a cool like mom and pop sort of shop, that would be really dope, because then it's usually not as busy. You get some good food. It's usually not super expensive. Not a huge fan of bunches of people, so that'd be pretty dope.
So you're being self-conscious about, like, him having to pay for the meal,
Yeah.
and it not being expensive is a good thing.
Yes. I don't want to like. That would be bad for him.
So you're saying a walk and dinner, not somewhere too nice.
No, because that's
like-
pressure on everybody. Nobody
Yeah.
likes that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it. Simple. Gets the job done.
Yeah. For me, I'm definitely different when it comes to dates. The last first date I went on was probably the best first date I went on, where we went out to the park and we hammocked, and we just kind of sat there and talked for a while. So that was cool. And then there's a like a creek or a body of water, and we ended up like swimming in that. And it was just cool because we were just adventuring and going along, didn't really know where the day was going to take us. And then after that, we went back to my house and then got pizza and just we talked with my parents for a long time.
Yes.
Which it honestly sounds like the worst first date possible, but it was really fun.
But your parents are dope, so
Yeah.
that helps a lot.
Yeah, so I don't know, for me it's something that I want to, like, I just want it to be unique, and I want it to be something that's like that you learn something special about the other person. So it's like, you know, like if you're just having a typical first date, it's whatever. But for me, I always want it to be something like out of the ordinary. For instance, the creek by my house is somewhere that I went to when I was a kid, and I was like, hey, I want to show you this spot. And so it was cool because it was somewhere unique to me or unique to the experience.
It also entirely depends on the person that you're wanting to go on a first date with. Like, there was a girl that like I almost dated, and I had to like pick a first date spot or whatever, and like a first date for her, like she would have liked to just like go and pick up food at her favorite spot and then literally like go and eat it at a park or something. Like that would be like perfect for first date for somebody like her. But like there are girls who like expect, like every girl's got different expectations, and every guy's got a different budget, so it's just like completely depends on the person. So I don't know.
Yeah. So what Sam's trying to say is if you don't take them to a 5-star restaurant first date, you're wrong.
I think Whataburger's 5 stars, right?
Indeed it is.
100.
So
My
let's bounce around some of the worst ideas. So if you're
Yes.
thinking of these, if you have a girl in mind, or if you have a guy in mind, you know, girls should start asking out guys, because the weight that is put on every man's shoulders
True.
to have to ask out a girl, that's rough.
It sucks.
We'll talk about that.
But I guess I've only ever done it like twice.
It is the worst. But so if you have a person in mind and you want to go on a first date with them, if you are thinking of these places, I would like you to stop thinking of these places and go to Whataburger.
So it could be Wait, we're thinking of the worst place,
Yeah.
The
right?
worst places,
It
the
could
worst
be-
things to do for
It
dating.
could be anywhere. The worst anywhere.
Yeah.
Does it have to be realistic?
Yes, please make
Friend.
it realistic.
Okay.
Preferably.
Like you
Mordor.
could say like the sewer, like
You
That's
could
honest-
say that.
But like when
This
I
is
think
my-
sewer, I
this-
think like drainage
this is my
pipes or whatever,
favorite
and that might be
sewer.
kind of dope to like go exploring in like the giant like
See?
drain pipes.
different girls have different expectations. Everybody, some are right, some are wrong.
This one's wrong.
Well, all right.
This one's
That's
crazy.
She's crazy.
She's crazy, guys.
Ah, good. We're quoting our own content.
I think we're allowed to quote our own content.
Yeah, it's not
When it's
plagiarism
become
if
part
you
of our
wrote it.
lingo outside of the
Yes.
video.
Yeah. So let's think of Josh. What would you say is the worst? The worst place you can think of to take a girl on a date.
So, 2 girlfriends ago, 3. The worst first date I've ever been on personally is we went on our first date right before school, and she was like, "Yeah, well, I need to go like do stuff to get ready for school," and I was like, "Oh, okay," and then she was like, "And then we can grab dinner or something after," and I was like, "Okay, whatever." Well, she ran late, and she was like, "If you want to come meet me, I'm in an Office Depot." And so I was like, okay. So I walk into this Office Depot, and our entire date was us standing in an Office Depot for an hour and a half, like shopping for different things. And I think we went to Chick-fil-A, and then there wasn't a second date.
That legitimately sounds like the worst thing ever.
It was pretty awful.
But you never
Yeah.
dated again.
No. Yeah, that was the one that was like, no.
That was red flag
You need to
number
tell
1,
me
and that
who
was more
girl
than one.
was, because I'm very interested to know after the thing.
Do any of us know who that is?
I don't think so. Caleb might.
So,
Yeah,
That's fine.
it was rough.
Jessica, what would be your worst if somebody asked you to this place? You'd be like instant no, like
So that
I apologize for my coworker's behavior.
it's awful. I'm thinking like the DMV.
I thought this had to be realistic.
I mean,
Well,
think
like,
about it. Think
if
about
you're
it.
like-
Who's gonna take you to
Bro.
the? I guess
He's
Office
like,
Depot.
he's like, hey, I know we had a date scheduled, but it's taking me a long time at the DMV. So if you
Yeah,
just
so like
want
if
to
you just
wait
want
in
to
line
meet
with
me,
Hey girl,
That
can
could
you drive
honestly,
me
though-
to the DMV so
Okay,
I can
that
get
would be
my
bad.
license?
Yeah. If it was like a hey,
then I can
meet
drive
me,
you to Chick-fil-A after.
if I pass, if all goes
doesn't
well,
pass the test. So
We're stranded at the
Can your
DMV.
parents come pick us up?
disgusting. Yeah, yeah. I think that might be up there.
That was a good answer.
Thanks, that appreciate it. Wow,
DMV,
That sounded so sincere.
DMV and chill.
sincere person.
Sam.
Denny's.
What do you mean?
Okay, that's not my real answer. We just have a few because I've never been to Denny's.
Denny's is an amazing
Okay, you can believe
diner
that. But anyway,
place. Heaven.
probably the airport.
Wait, like
Is she
she's
going
leaving?
away or is she coming back?
Just
going
airport.
to the airport?
Just going to the airport.
So, is it like before or after security?
I mean, either way, it freaking sucks. Hey, yo, girl, you want to go through security? Not really, no. What you got to hide?
Because in order to get through security, you have to have a ticket.
Yeah,
So
It'd be a very expensive date.
it would be.
It would suck.
break the bank.
It's true. I think some airports are cool though.
If you could go like,
Are you psychotic?
whoa,
When I flew into Nashville recently, there was a bunch of like restaurants and stuff, and there were people playing like live music in these restaurants, and it was actually pretty cool. I was like, dang. I would have liked to stay and hear them play. So there, I believe there are some restaurants
I mean, that's you.
in the restaurant that is the what? Some
I
restaurants in
think,
the airport that are cool.
I think most people just like inherently hate airports. Like, airports are not good experiences. Like, it's never a good experience.
Huh.
They're inconvenient and just like super boring. There's never a decent place to sit.
That's true.
I guess you could go to the airport and people watch. That's actually kind of fun.
Like, honestly, people watch anywhere would be a fun date. Just like go and
You can go people watch anywhere. DMV. That's actually probably a pretty fun place to people watch.
You just go sit in line.
So we're debunking all of the worst places.
yeah. So
Man, we're just. So what
I
is
think
what's
any of
really
these
the worst
going to
place?
any of these places
You could find a
sincerely
way.
You could
is
make it
where,
fun.
Because humans
Yeah.
could like as humans, we just like want to find like a way to make anything entertaining. So you could probably find a way to make some like anything entertaining, except for like I don't know, like a slaughterhouse. I don't know.
Depends on the girl, you know. Depends on the people.
That just got controversial. Oh snap!
For me, I'm having trouble thinking of a worst date place. I think when I ask this question to my friends, though, almost every girl I ask, just not on a date, but just in general, what would be the worst first date place? The same response is Cane's.
Why?
that
Okay, they
we need better female friends.
They think that is the worst.
That would be one of the worst places to take somebody on a date. Cane's.
Okay, find somebody else to take you on a first
What's
date.
the rationale?
I don't know.
Because it's fast food.
I don't think so, because they would be like the same people I talk to are kind of like they're okay with the fast food thing, but they're just so not okay with
Maybe
Cane's.
it's just because like they go there all the like maybe they go there often, so it's like not a special thing to go there on a first date. But it's
Yeah.
like then
I don't
again, it's
know.
like that shouldn't really bother you.
But like some of them have also said that they're okay with Whataburger, but then like no to
What?
the Cane's. Yeah,
We go to both of those places very often.
I know. So that's why it doesn't connect.
Man, some people stupid.
So I think Cane's is okay, but now I will never do that.
Yeah, apparently it's a bad idea.
The
Just a tip
overwhelming
for-
response is
My ex-girlfriend worked at Cane's.
really.
Did you
Not
ever
while
go
we-
to it on a date?
It's
to
not
Cane's?
while we dated. My dad ran into her later
Nice.
at the drive-thru. He was like, "Oh, hi." I don't know what she said.
It's awkward.
Probably hello back.
No.
And then asked for his order.
I almost knocked over my microphone.
Wow.
That would have been devastating.
So let's talk about the biggest thing in dating, which is just getting it started. Somebody has to make the first move. And I believe that an unfair amount of pressure is put on the male specimen.
The only reason you bring this up is because I'm awful at starting relationships.
No, I think so
I guess
correct me
use
if
me as an
I'm-
example.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the process getting yourself up to the point where you're going to ask somebody out is the most stressful and like most exhilarating, adrenaline-driven processes of all time, especially in the moments leading up to it where you're just trying to figure out how to like ask. That is the most stressful situation.
It's so scary. It's like once you find out, it's a lot easier once you find out the girl has the same feelings for you, because then it's just like finding a place that is like appropriate for a first date. But then it's also like,
Well, I'm kind of talking about first moves in general, to where like
so
what
like
you're
even
talking
finding
about.
like just like
Yeah.
flirting, like
Yeah, like
Okay.
once like the first like DTR, like what are we?
Define
Do
the
you like
relationship
me?
for those of you who
I
don't know
like
that.
you. Yeah. For me, it's just always like
it's hard.
yeah.
And I'm really bad at flirting, as you saw in the first video. What's up, girl? Are you from Tennessee? Because you look like you're from that kind of temperature.
I
lately.
really thought you meant the first podcast and got a little confused.
Yes, I did a lot of eye flirting with Caleb in that video.
As you should.
I'm sorry. What? Sorry, I wasn't
Do y'all
reading.
need to
I wasn't reading the signals.
DTR?
I wasn't reading the signal.
Oh.
We're not wearing headphones, so we can't hear what you said.
Okay.
I got that one.
So, I'm trying to think. Let's just think of some. I just want to give an example of an experience where I was trying to profess my feelings to this girl.
Confess your love.
Yes.
Just let it all out
Did
there.
that come
So
on too
we
strong?
were we were at a camp, right? We were at a camp.
Ooh, camp love.
It was more like a work camp,
Oh.
if that makes sense. So it
Oh.
was not fun.
Hey,
But
work
we
is
were
fun.
we were both there.
If you
So
do
we're
it for
doing
people
our
who
thing.
need it.
It was fun, but like not in a traditional sense, if that makes sense. Like we were working hard. We had an hour off a day to hang out with each other. So, we had been like in this like weird awkward zone probably for about 6 months or something. Yeah, we've been like talking. I had originally like kind of slid into her DMs, you know.
Like, actually?
Yeah, like legit on
Oh.
Twitter. I was like, I said something, and it was I
Hey.
just like I sent her a post or something, or she sent me a post. I don't remember, but we just started talking over DMs, and then I did the casual thing like, hey, you should text me because
Man, it's so hard to
DMs are
message
hard.
on these DMs. How about I get your number? Because that's different.
Exactly what happened. So after that, yeah, we just awkwardly talking, and I at that time, how old was I? I was probably just turned 16.
Okay, so did I know you at this time?
No,
Okay.
so I was pretty immature at this point.
Recording in progress. That sounded really rude. I'm sorry.
That was my mother.
Hello, mother.
But she's like a mother to all of us.
Yeah.
But especially Caleb and
Especially
explain-
us.
Why?
especially her sons,
Yeah.
who she birthed with her septum.
It was a weird birth. I remember it like it was 21 years ago.
Whoa.
Just
Hey, I remember it like it was 21 years ago.
She was pulling hard.
Okay.
That is the opposite.
So
Glad we know how
Well,
birth
she was
works.
using her septum. Who knows how it happens?
I don't want to know. So I've been kind of into this girl for about 6 months or something. And I was confused. I will not lie. Super confuzzled about what I was feeling. So much to the point, about 2 or 3 weeks earlier, I said, I love you. Like a sister.
Oh!
I was gonna say I feel that hard. I was gonna wait till you were done to say I feel that hard, and I was like, no, I have never. That is weird.
So
Whoa.
I kind of like cemented the friend zone, you know what I mean? Like 3 weeks before this camp.
Dude, nice.
Then 3 weeks later, I'm like, ooh, I think I made a mistake. So
You know, like an idiot.
we're at this work camp. We have 1 hour off each day. Like that's the only time we see each other. 1 hour. So it gives you plenty of time to think for the whole week.
Okay.
So we have this 1 hour off, and we're sitting at this picnic table, just me and her. And I'm like, all right, this is it. This is gonna happen right now.
I knocked over my microphone. Oh my gosh.
This is horrible. So
Could you hear it?
yeah. So we are just sitting at this picnic table, and I'm like trying to build up like just the will to ask this girl or be like, hey, I think I like you, I think we should date, okay? And then she is like right, like just the moment I have it, she's like, I want to go to the store, like the camp store, and look at t-shirts. And I'm like,
Me too.
yeah. I was like, okay.
I love t-shirts.
So we go and look at t-shirts, legit an eternity at she's just like looking at these t-shirts.
She's postponing the inevitable.
Yeah, she has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, because she thinks y'all are in the friend zone.
Yeah, so she's just like looking at t-shirts, and I'm just like I hate this. I just hate this. So anyway, we do that. We come back, and then I ask her, and it's weird. And then we didn't start dating till like 2 weeks later because she needed time to like think about it. So then we were in like another weird phase, but it turned out okay. Anyway,
That's cool.
all that to say,
Did this happen in a different state?
no.
Okay.
I mean, yes, the camp was in a different state, but
it's not who I'm thinking
Virginia.
of. Virginia.
How dare you? But yeah, Jessica, how do you feel about as the only female presence? You're speaking
Yes.
for all
Mhm.
women of all time.
This is
Good.
super important.
Right.
How do you feel about the roles of asking, or the pressure of making the first move as the guy?
Yeah.
Well, just to give your thoughts.
I personally think it's totally unfair, I guess, that it's all on the bros. But also, not gonna lie, very excited that I probably will never have to initiate. That's the hope, right?
Because you're a lesbian?
Because, like,
Just to be clear, Jessica is not a lesbian.
oh yeah.
Why'd we have to
is
make that clear?
That is a character. Well,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Because of her status
Everybody,
at a school.
if that made me sound insensitive, it's because I
because he
am.
is. No, 100%. Definitely think that as females, we should help the bros out a little bit in that department. We often don't. In my ideal world, we can do that without having to completely be the first one. But like, girls love to give hints. Those hints are bad most of the time. Completely unreadable.
Yeah, as a guy, like, there was a girl who, like, dropped a ton of hints to me,
Yeah.
and I didn't pick up a single one, and she made fun of me. Not, like, in a bad way, but she, like, teased me. She was like, how did you not get that? And I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, well, whatever. Sorry,
Yeah,
continue.
no, so definitely need to step up and be more forward. But I don't see that happening because, like I said, we're all about like, oh, let's be equal. But also, we like not having to be in the uncomfortable situations that have been described up to this point. So I doubt it'll ever actually change because,
Yeah.
you said it sucks.
It's
so
hard to
why
change.
on earth would I want to do that?
It's hard to change something that's been, like, a tradition for, like, so long.
That's true.
Like, it's always been on the guy to start, to, like, initiate, you know?
Mm.
But there are definitely girls that are, like, willing to, like, be the initiator.
Hmm.
I think there are, like, more girls nowadays.
That's
I don't
true.
know where they are
We have
or
yet-
why they won't talk
yet
to me.
find them.
But hit me up.
So how do you, Josh and Sam, how do you guys feel about, like, what would your impression be if a girl asked you out, basically? Or she did make the
I
first...
feel like some guys would feel like almost like belittled or like demeaned or whatever, but like I would be down for it, you know, like if a girl asked me on a date, I'm not gonna say like no, like
No matter who she is.
well if I don't like the
Sam
girl,
will take the deal.
if I don't like the girl, then I'll
Anybody.
explain to her why I don't want to go. Well, I'll explain to her I'll be respectful as possible. Always respect women, but
It's a valiant
Thanks for
effort.
that.
that I don't
Sidebar?
want to. That I don't want to go on a date with her. But like, if it's a girl that I like, and she asked me on a date, I'm gonna say yes. It'd be stupid to say no just because she was the one that initiated it.
Oh, yeah. That would be a bad reason to say no.
Josh, how do you feel about it?
I feel like I would be okay with it, like Sam said, like if I liked the person.
Right.
I feel like I'd be okay with it. I don't know that it's completely unreasonable though for guys to have to do it. That's just kind of how it's been. Like I used to be so bad at it. Like not coming on to a girl, that's not the right word, but like saying, hey, I like you, let's
Like
go out
dropping
on a
hints.
date. Yeah.
Or being direct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm
Direct
way
is
more direct,
always
and it
the way
works
to
way
go.
better.
I'm just not
Sometimes-
confident enough to just like go out there and ask a girl to go on a date. Like I have like very little confidence with people that I'm like that I don't know super well.
Yeah.
And so like it's super difficult for me to just like, oh, I like that girl. Why not ask her on a date? Because in my head I'm like, everything's gonna go wrong. This girl's not gonna want to be friends with me anymore. And so it's hard. I guess it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's wrong to ask the girls to help out a little bit just because I'm too wimpy to do it, but like, I don't know. It'd be nice.
I think it'd be helpful to get like signs back that, yeah, we like you too.
So like a wink, you know.
Something, like literally any kind of sign. Because I've talked to girls now who in high school were like, yeah, I was dropping hints that I liked you. And I was
Where?
like, when? Where? You never talked to
Missed
me.
that one.
She's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I picked up my pencil. It's
Yeah.
like, what? Oh yeah, I kind of thought maybe that was something, but I
Yeah.
was like, oh.
That.
For sure. I think too, like in homosexual relationships, how hard that must be to like, if you're both the
I
same,
would imagine it's pretty difficult.
if you're both the same gender, like how
you have to
That's
check.
it.
You have to like check if the other person's gay.
yeah,
Oh.
that's the first
That's another
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
But then secondly, like,
they might not like you, even if they are gay.
but you got to think like,
I mean, the relationships are the same.
yeah, but you got to think like, who initiates?
I think. I don't know.
Who initiates? That's harder because you're like, well, it might not be harder because both people have I don't know.
There isn't a homosexual here to answer that.
That is
so
true.
We're not going to try to answer that.
But if you are, comment below.
Matt answers. I'm sorry, Matt. I didn't mean
I
that.
think like the flip side of this coin though is the like when you are asked out and it is from somebody that you don't like, because that's something from a female perspective that we have to deal with often.
we
that
have-
isn't what.
Don't we have to deal with that too?
Sure,
That the
I'm
person
sure
might
you
not
do.
like us?
Oh well, yeah, but like that's
But
what I'm
it's
saying.
different because like they're being asked directly, like, hey, I like you. Do you want to do this? And then they're put on the spot, being like, you know, having to respond
Yeah.
right then and there.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like if a girl's asking a guy.
No,
Like that
no,
it's
no.
different
If-
for
no,
y'all.
no,
I was like,
oh,
it's
no,
the
not
same.
at all. I'm saying if a guy is asking a girl,
Oh.
which we've established is the
Got it.
usual way that it happens,
Right.
having to be like, I'm sorry, because it is hard, and
Yeah.
whoever the bro is worked up a lot of courage. And
Honestly,
then you're
I've
like,
never even thought about that.
yeah, because it sucks to have
Yeah.
to be like,
I've
I just don't
I've honestly
see
never
you
thought
that
about
way. So yeah,
Have you had an experience like that?
yeah, yes.
Rip Perry.
Or Perry. No, not Perry. This is middle school, so
Oh shoot.
this dude comes up and is like, hey, will you be my Valentine? And I said no.
That'll wreck a middle school boy.
I know.
You know that.
I probably destroyed his life.
That's okay.
Let's be real.
He's probably gay now.
100%.
Not that that wrecked your life. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Save, you got problems. You're gonna put us in all sorts of wrong ways.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, with the homosexual community, we're sorry.
I do not disrespect the homosexual community.
Only when you talk.
Only
It's
every
just that
time
I
he opens
say
his
the
mouth.
wrong things at the wrong time. I do not disrespect the homosexual community.
No. Yeah, but the issue for me with after the point though is because even though it sucks and it feels really weird, telling the person no wasn't the worst part of it. It was the reaction of everybody else afterwards. Like,
yeah.
why the heck wouldn't you say yes? All it is be his Valentine, or all it is one
Yeah.
date or one drink or whatever it is that people say to other people.
And that like doesn't just happen in middle school either.
No,
like,
I'm saying like pressure for forever.
Right.
Like, oh, hey, this guy really likes you. Why did you tell him no? Why won't you pursue it? I've seen that, heck, all over this last year with friends and stuff where they're putting pressure on each other to go into relationships that they don't want to be a part of.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, that is true.
It's like different struggles for both sides.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
both sides don't see.
It's not easy for either one.
Yeah, it's just it's an overall awkward situation.
Yeah.
So we'll do one last thing. We'll go around the circle and give our best dating advice. If you had to give advice to a
To
person,
the same gender or the opposite gender?
just in general, it can be.
Okay.
You can make it specific to a gender, but just in general, what would you say your advice is? I won't call on anybody. Just
Josh, you go ahead.
I would say be yourself, and if it doesn't work, it was never going to work. If you have to be someone else to date a person that you like, it's probably not going to work anyway. So just be yourself. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And there will be more opportunities.
that's good. That was real. That was real good. So, Sim.
I hate you. Did you just say Sam?
Yes.
You said you wasn't gonna call nobody.
I said I wouldn't call anybody on the first round.
Okay, well, I actually was gonna say something along the lines of Josh. I might word it a little differently, but I might also add something else, just so it's not the same answer. But like, if it's really hard to like be yourself in front of somebody, then like I forgot what I was gonna say. Crap. I would have worded it differently because it's something that I felt in the past that just like really hurt me. But that's okay.
We can come back to you.
Yeah, please come back to me.
Jessica, what about you? Do you have some?
My thing, I guess, is just to be direct. Any of the interactions I've been a part of or have witnessed other people be a part of that ended horribly almost always results from people not talking or like not saying what they truly think or feel. And that's what, if being, I guess, dishonesty just in general, even if it's being dishonest with yourself, which can be rough, but you just gotta be straightforward, get to the point, you know?
For sure. Communication is key.
Whoa, it's like a saying.
Crazy.
Dang, dude. Here's the problem, folks. I am awful at dating. Those are great pieces of advice, but I straight up can't think of anything because I have no advice to give in that realm. I've only ever dated one girl, and it was like the easiest relationship ever because it felt so like easy because we were like I guess here's my advice. If it's like real, like it's pretty similar to Josh's. If it's really hard to be yourself around this person, even like if you've been on like 1 or 2 dates with this person and you're still like, it's like you find it's like really hard for you to be yourself around that person, then it's probably not, like I would say it's probably not going to work out, you know. I don't know. That's very similar to what Josh said, but I don't know. I'm pretty bad with relationships, so I really have no good advice out to give. So sorry.
Yeah. For me, I'd just say, I'll double back on what Jessica said. Communicating is so important to just like say what you actually mean as soon as possible. Don't put off saying something, especially if it's like breaking up. If you know that it's not going to work, like just get it out of the way. Just do it. You're not helping out anybody by staying in a relationship you don't want to be in because it's unfair to you and it's unfair to them. Second thing, I'd say just like have trust in the person that you're dating. Don't be on their back all the time, texting them, being like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what'd you have for lunch? What'd you have for dinner?" Because two things are going to happen. Once you meet in person for the date or whatever, you're going to have nothing to talk about because you have talked about legitimately everything they have done that day. And two, it's just like you're not giving off a good sign that you're trusting them, and you're not like you got to trust them to be who they are even when they're dating you, because you know they're not yours. You don't have anything, you're not holding them to anything yet in the relationship. So just have trust Because if it's gonna work, it's gonna work, and you texting them all the time isn't gonna make them stay with you.
I guess I have something to add on to that a little bit, just like from personal experience, is like if you're in a relationship with somebody, like yeah, communication's key, but like tell them what you think about them. Like say positive things about your partner, because like all of us have our insecurities, and those of us who don't have like a high self-esteem, they need to hear from that person why. Like if you're not in the point in the relationship where you're telling each other that you love each other, that's fine, but like tell that person why you like them and why you like being around them. Like you can say stuff about like their physical aspects, like within reason, but like even saying something about their character, like just saying something about who they are as a person and why you enjoy that is going to fill them with so much happiness. And that's just like something that's super important, and it's like a hard thing to do because we're not used to doing that, but it's so important because you're like the person that they are gonna like put the most trust in the world, and for them to hear that from you is gonna be just absolutely huge for somebody who doesn't have a huge self-esteem. Even if they let on that they have a big self-esteem, it's still good to like go back and say like, hey, this is something that you do that I just love, you know. Or not love. I don't know. You don't have to say love if that's not where you're at. But this is something you do that I really like, and I enjoy that.
For sure. You know, I just love hanging out with you.
Are you making fun of my advice? I worked so hard on that.
No, it's good. It's good. Positive affirmation is really key in a relationship.
That communication was key.
Both of them are keys. You have multiple
We
keys.
kind of just talked about
Keys
different
do you have
aspects
to,
of
like,
communication.
There is a keychain of relationships, and
Whoa.
those are two keys.
You just said keychain.
That was the advice that none of you wanted, and none of you guys stayed along.
But some of you
for
might
this.
have needed it. And that's okay.
Anyway, so we like to end, or I like to end. Who are we kidding? I like to end on something I stole directly from the Mad About Movies podcast called Weekly Recommends. But we don't do this weekly, so it's just recommends.
That's a cool name.
We're going to go around the circle. You're going to recommend something, and something that you've been into, like a movie, a TV show, music, a book, anything. And recommend it to the one person that is still listening right now. I will
There's nobody
start.
listening.
Let's be real here, Kevin.
I will start. I'm going to do a little self-promotion. Started a playlist on Spotify for the summer of 19. It's just songs that I'm into over the summer. And if you're looking for some good music, if you don't have any music, go check out Summer of 19, link in the description to my Spotify playlist. So,
I just watched the latest season of Attack on Titan. It's a good one. If you've been thinking about watching that show, freaking do it. It's so good. I know that's not a weekly recommend that reaches out to everybody, but if you just like forgot to watch it, if you watch the show and you're like, oh, I didn't know there was a new season, get on that. It's so good.
the third season of Attack on Titan. Anime galore, baby. Jessica, recommend.
Let's see here. We've been playing a lot of card games recently, so I'm going to recommend a trip to Target. Check out their card game section. Get some friends. Have a blast. Because that's literally all I've done. And you're welcome.
That is great advice.
Caleb died of dysentery.
Weekly recommend. Go to Target and have friends.
Go to Target and have friends. If you don't have friends, can't do that.
Then
Sorry.
have them.
Josh, recommend it.
My recommend is that you guys stay away from anything Sour Patch related that is not the actual candy itself. Because the cereal is a disaster.
Have you actually tried the cereal?
The cereal is disgusting.
Okay, I've never tried it,
That's
so I was curious.
for a podcast another day, I guess. But it is nasty.
Nasty.
And the ice cream seems terrible. The Blizzard at Dairy Queen.
There's an ice cream?
Yeah.
Okay,
The Blizzard seems awful.
Bahama Bucks had a Sour Patch Kids flavor. It was fire.
Really?
Yeah, it
That's
had,
like
it had the little
Sounds
sour.
like it'd be
frozen-
terrible.
What?
It had the sour crystals on top. Fire.
Anyway, that's my weekly recommend.
So just to be clear, your weekly recommend is de-recommending anything Sour Patch related.
That's not the
I mean, that's
candy
a
itself is
recommendation.
good. I recommend you guys don't
Have
eat
you had the berries one?
the Sour Patch Berries. Yeah,
Freaking delicious.
yeah. The actual candy is sick, but anything that's not the actual candy is less
Will
sick.
make you sick.
Yeah, it will make you sick.
Awesome. So yeah, this was the second episode of what is affectionately known now as Montrels Disciples Podcast. Shout out to Jessica White for being the only person that actually asked us when we were making another podcast.
Yeah, pretty much nobody else
Fair.
liked it.
I like it.
I think this one was better.
I like doing it.
I think
Yeah.
this one was
You
better.
know what I
We
mean?
just
Like,
get to record
yeah.
Okay.
a conversation.
Yeah, before this podcast, I was like, I just don't want to record a podcast. Like,
but it's fun.
It is fun.
you
It
just
actually
get
is
to-
fun.
You just get to talk.
so even if y'all don't like it, we freaking enjoy it. So
So we're gonna keep doing.
sorry.
Yeah, so we're gonna play out the podcast. I'm gonna play a track. One of my favorite people in the world, Jeremy Renner, with his new single, "Main Attraction."
Sarcasm alert.
Now, baby, let's ride. We got nothing but time. You get all the reactions. You're the main attraction. It's no surprise. Gotta like your style. You're the perfect distraction.